Come on, Bitsy.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. Hopefully, I'm a little bit louder than I have been. I have turned the volume up as much as I can. Poor Packer can't hear me speak, so I've turned the background music really down and I've turned myself really up. So hopefully, A, I'm not deafening you, and B, Packer can now hear me. Now, another boring weekend in crypto. Nothing's happened. I've really struggled to find anything to talk about. There's been no price action. There's been nothing other than the fact that we're at $81,500 And when I was putting these streams together on Friday, we were at 76. So we've moved $5,500 in 48 hours. That's what Bitcoin does. I'm here to be an anchor. I'm going to try and stop you getting swept away in a wave of emotion. Some of you are now going out, you're trying to buy baby hippos, you're going to go and buy kittens, you're going to go and buy small puppy meme coins. I'm here to hopefully be the voice of reason. If you've never heard me before, please smash the like button, say hello in chat, and of course, subscribe or follow or anything else. I do have a question for chat this morning. Do you prefer clean shaven or do you prefer Mr. Beard? Let me know in chat. I get the impression I'm going to have to work on my image now we're getting into this bull run. Maybe wear some kind of crazy fluorescent tops. Maybe get a green tint on my beard. Who knows? Let me know in chat. We have so much to get through that I'm not sure we're going to be able to get through it all. And I've also tried to slim the menu down. Trump. We're going to talk about Charles Hoskinson. We're going to talk about Edward Snowden. We're going to talk about memes. We're going to talk about portfolio. And we're going to talk about hamster combat. And then at the end, give you our conclusion. I've tried to mix it up. It's very difficult in a bull run to go off and talk about micro caps that really shouldn't be in your portfolio at this stage. We really have a lot to get through on the main alts. And if you are new, you haven't seen anything yet. Okay, lots of coins we're going to look at still down 30, 40, 50% this year. Lots of coins, obviously, like Bitcoin leading the way. That's what you would expect in the halving year. So anyway, let's get into something. Of course, the title of the show today is King Charles. Not my King Charles, Charles Hoskinson. And you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you about Charles if you've not heard. If you wanted bullish news for Cardano, if you wanted me to sit here having defended Cardano for 18 months, I'm here. This is my retribution. This is retribution day for me. This is me explaining why, after all this time, Cardano maybe wasn't such a bad pick after all. So we're going to go through that. And again, bottom left-hand corner, 14,000 to go in 2 months. If the bull run doesn't fade, I think we're on. I think we can do it. 200,000. Please subscribe. As I said, 14,000 in, what have we got, 7 weeks? 2,000 a week. It's possible. It is possible. Right then, let's get to the charts. Bitcoin coming in at a measly $81,800. That doesn't even bring a smile to my face because we're not done yet. Ethereum coming in at 3,200 almost. Solana 211. BNB back over $600. That's where we like to see it. Doge, we're going to talk about Doge in the intro. There's something I need to tell you, which although I don't agree with, you guys need to make your own decision on that. And again, I'm never going to sit here and just tell you what I think without sharing other people's opinions. And that's what I try and do to the best of my ability. XRP, Cardano, back in the top 10. 59 cents almost. Okay. Market cap. Again, this is something we need to start talking about. I was in a very heated debate about Crow over the weekend. People were saying that market cap doesn't matter in the bull run. Okay, it absolutely matters. It matters to everything. Market cap is the total value of everything. It's absolutely fundamental to how you should assess whether a coin is overvalued or undervalued. Okay, you can do that by comparing it to its peers. You can do that by comparing it to its all-time highs. There's lots of things you can do. But by the way, that's not why we're on this point. We will at some point in the near future get somewhere towards $3 trillion. My target, I think my target was 8 to 10 trillion, but I can't remember if I said 6 to 10 trillion. I think I said 8 to 10 trillion. So we still potentially have a 3x to go for the market from here. Now, again, a caveat to that is we're not going to go to 8 trillion and stay there forever and a day. That's going to be the blow off top, which will last a couple of months. It's not going to be what the price will be in June 2026. That's peak retail FOMO. That's when you sell your bags and they end up holding your bags of Dugeng or Budeng or whatever it's called, your bags of dog with hats, your kittens, all of those coins. You're going to be passing them on to retail and walking away with your profits and leaving retail holding those bags of memes. And again, I am not a fan of that, but unfortunately, that is how stocks and shares work. Now, let's move on. Volume, bearing in mind this is a Monday, the volume on the last 24 hours, 126 billion. In the bull run, I've said all along, we're going to see 120 to 160 billion a day, maybe over $200 billion a day. That's in the bull run. We've just seen 126 billion on a Sunday. It's looking very promising. Dominance is now over 72% for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum's had a massive run up. We're looking good, okay? I am going to tinge this with a little bit of hopefully realism. We can't keep having these $12,000 wicks. Maybe we have them for the next 2 weeks, but we will cool off, okay? Don't panic and dive straight in and think we're going to be at $150,000 by November the 15th. It's very unlikely, okay? It's more likely that we retrace below 80,000. But don't panic and FOMO in. That is where you will get wrecked. Now, again, you could FOMO in now at 81, we could go to 74, and then we'll be back at 90 or 100 by the end of the year. Fine. Don't panic. You have time still, but your bags should have been packed by the end of September. A lot of people are now saying, I'm seeing the headlines, you've got time, you have got time. Yes, you do. But where's Bitcoin going to go from here? It's at 81,000. Is it going to go to 160,000? Maybe. So that's 100% profit. If you're in Solana and Solana goes to $600 from where it is now, that's double the profit you'll get from being in Solana. So yes, you still will make a profit. You just won't make as much of a profit as maybe you would have at the start of the year. So it's not about the train coming to a stop, to a halt, to a stop. It's about how much your return is going to be. 24-hour gainers then. Dogs dominate. Dog with hat, Dogecoin. Kronos is up there. Kronos released its roadmap. It's going to try and take over the world. So that is on a bit of a tear, back over 12 cents, which was the target. It's nearly at 14 cents. It's good. Stacks, of course, layer 2 from Bitcoin doing well. Ondo, one of my picks. Love the project. Don't forget, loving a project does not mean holding it for the next 5 years. It means selling it when you are in substantial profits towards the end of the cycle, okay? So I will not be holding Ondo probably in 18 months' time. Dog with hat, cat in a dog's world, sorry. With hat. Cat in a dog's world, Mew, which is the sponsor of this stream, is now over 1 cent. I told you, and I've said it time and time again, this was one of the picks. It's up 520% for the year, not doing too badly at all. Floki is up, Popcat, again, 160, decent coin. Might be starting to think about where it's going to go from here. Shiba is up, Render is up, lots of gainers. Losers, probably not many losers, I would imagine, today. A couple of 4%, not really that many. It hasn't even updated, so we're not going to look at them. Now, one thing I do want to point out is we are at absolutely massive all-time highs for Bitcoin, okay? We are now, what, potentially 10% above the all-time high? Let's have a look at this. Now, these are coins, and this is their return year to date, okay? Now, this is a mixture of coins that I said on Thursday or Friday. In the bull run, when you move to the upside and you get your Bitcoin all-time high, you'll blow off top, and it blows off, okay? The money will then flow into alts. I'm just checking my stream. Give me 1 second to make sure we are here. Make sure we are in chat. Where is everybody? I can't believe that the chat is super quiet. KB is here. Good morning. That's about hidden agendas, Kishan. There's nobody here. Don't tell me you're all hungover from the profits you've made. Anyway, now, this is a series of coins which I don't necessarily think are bad projects. Layer 2 on Ethereum. Layer 2 on Ethereum. Layer 2 on Ethereum, liquid staking on Ethereum. These are all down absolutely massively, okay? Yeah, Ethereum is at $3,200. It's moved all the way up from about $2,600. What do you think is going to happen with some of these layer 2s? They're going to move up. So if you're looking for some coins which may pump in the next week or so, I would be looking at the layer 2s on Ethereum, especially if it keeps on going, okay? So there are some coins down here that I wouldn't touch. Celestia, probably not. DYDX, I'm surprised that is down there, in all honesty. But there's some coins down here. Filecoin, Bitcoin SV, Polkadot, Axie. I'm not expecting big things from them. But I think the layer 2s associated with Ethereum, they're not going to be at these prices for much longer, okay? 62 cents for Arbitrum, $2.4 billion market cap. Optimism, $2 billion market cap. Polygon, Pol, $3 billion market cap. I think they'll play catch up with Ethereum. So just bear that in mind if you're going to try and find some winners. We've had a good weekend, but there's still, look at all the coins that are still in a loss for the year. We can go all the way down here and pick out projects. ICP, Avalanche is down here. So when you do see these headlines saying we're not too late, you're not too late. You can still make profits. And yeah, anyway, one of the things I want to point out, which I didn't cover much about last week, is I did a review video of this project, and I'm not bringing it up for any other reason than this is a research tool, okay? So Spectre is a little bit like Dex Tools, Dex Screener. It combines a lot of CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, but it's really sexy, okay? Now, what have I said in the past? Sexiness does very well, okay? Meme coins, they're sexy. They're cats, they're dogs, okay? They do sexy things. This is, and it's free, by the way, and I have no other affiliation to them, by the way. I'm not showing you this because I'm being paid to. This is a free project. It's called Spectre AI. It's, like I said, it's like a sexy version of Dex Tools. I use Dex Tools all the time. I've actually got back in touch with them and said that they need to add in a few more tools, such as the audits, which you can get on Dex Tools. They need to add that in there, but it's got pretty much everything. I have made a review video about it. Make sure to go and watch that video. I'm not going to cover it in this. This is just a sound bite to ask you to go and check it out. It's called Spectre AI. Haven't been paid for this. Want to make that very clear. I am going to try and use it in more of my reviews. And when I do my live reviews and when I do my video reviews, I'm going to try and use that a little bit more. Now then, Dan Crypto Trades, one of my favorite people to follow. It's sell too early season. Already guilty of multiple charges. It's why Spot is great. No P&Ls making you close out prematurely. Just ride the wave and enjoy. Okay? I've shown you the Matthew Hyland chart 3 or 4 times. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a bit. Okay? This 3-month period between October and the end of the year in the halving season is a big move. Okay? It is. What we're doing now is not unusual, okay? This isn't because there's a nation state buying Bitcoin. This isn't because the ETFs are buying everything. This is what happens. I've said this for months. The miners take 6 months to capitulate. And what I mean by that is, when the halving happens, they lose 50% of their income and they sell their Bitcoin, which puts downward pressure on the market. We've now got through that. We're 6 months down, 7 months down the line now. They've stopped. Every single time in history, 2020, 2016 and 2012, exactly the same thing has happened. Look at Plan B's chart. It shows you what happens. Okay, we are entering the red period where we move up. And this doesn't happen in a week. This takes probably another year. Okay. So the miners have capitulated. We're going to have to move to higher prices to afford to pay for the miners. It's basic economics. We have the additional pressure now of the ETFs. We have the additional pressure now of Trump being in power and creating a strategic reserve. We have the additional pressure of interest rates being cut, it's what happens, okay? This is not unusual. Don't be, if you're, let me think of a coin. Let's say you bought Cardano at 25 cents, okay? And it's now at whatever it is, 60 cents. And you're sitting there thinking, right, I'm up $2,000 or $3,000. If you want to take $500 off the table, do it. Nobody should ever tell you when to buy and sell. But if you follow the cycle, we're going to have a good 2 months. I made a video about this as well, okay? When to sell. I made that video. I was going to make it for the OGs yesterday, and then I realized the person who asked me for it wasn't an OG, so I made it public, okay? I've made another video about when I think the all-time high is going to be. That's a public video, okay? I don't do these things because I want to tell you these things. I do these because I get asked. So I make videos based on requests. Very simple. Now, Google searches for Bitcoin surge as the price hits $80,000. It's happening. Again, the metrics are very simple. Since May, nobody watches our YouTube videos. Since May, the volumes that we get on the exchanges that we stream on have dropped off. We are now entering the period where the viewerships, the retail coming back in, the simple questions that we get asked, how do I sell? How do I buy? All of those questions are going to come back as our retail, and they're going to bring money with them. And that money is going to buy Bitcoin. Now, they are not going to be single-handedly responsible for $150,000 Bitcoin. They are just another weight on the back of our buckaroo Bitcoin, okay? Along with Michael Saylor, the ETFs, Donald Trump's strategic reserve, all of those things help make the donkey kick and break its price action. Now, we are going to talk about Charles in a minute, but Charles is going to appear on the Joe Rogan podcast. ADA candles loading. Now, I don't think Charles being on the podcast is going to cause God candles. What's going to cause God candles is what I'm going to tell you about in about 10 minutes time. And if you're not bullish on Charles and Ada, I don't know what will be. Now, I don't know why I get this. I haven't muted this account. I'm literally looking at it now. Okay? This account is not muted. I'm following them. It's really weird. Okay. The Doge ETF will be the catalyst. The ETF nobody expects. Now, this is what I wanted to show. I got asked a couple of times, DMs and in Telegram, would I buy Doge? My answer is no. I won't buy Doge. It's had its time to do its stuff. It did nothing. It's waiting for Elon Musk. It's like a little puppy. It's asleep. It doesn't do anything, right? But this information might be useful to you. I'm not going to buy any Doge. I don't care about it. If there is a meme ETF, which one's going to get it? It's going to be Doge because it's the largest one. Now, this could also be a rumor started by people who hold a lot of Doge that want to pump the bags on the premise that there could be an ETF. Nobody's applied for it. Nobody has said nobody in a suit has mentioned it. This could be a narrative, okay? We've said Trump is in power, anything goes. Doge, Dog with Hat, Mew, why can't they all have ETFs? I personally would stay well clear of any ETF associated with memes. They have no inherent value. They're an utter waste of time. A little bit like subprime mortgages. So, the ETF nobody expects. I don't expect it. But I'm trying to tell you guys that if you want to dip into Doge and you want to ride it up on the premise of an ETF, do so, but take profits. Not my responsibility to tell you when to take profits. And I'm not my responsibility to tell you to buy or not buy Doge. I'm showing you what the rumor is. And personally, I'm going nowhere near it. Now then, there is a huge wrecking ball working its way through the bears, okay? There are currently bears swinging back and forth on wrecking balls, getting absolutely smashed to pieces, okay? Bears don't exist in a single state. Bulls don't exist in a single state. People with money, the money makers, the market makers, sorry, they will be bullish and bearish. And at the minute, I wouldn't want to be a bear. However, when everybody expects crypto to go down and Bitcoin to go down, it goes up. And when everybody expects Bitcoin to go up, what happens? It goes down. This has been an incredibly fast-paced move. I'm not saying it's finished today. Remember, this big move happened over the weekend. When the markets open today in 3.5, 4 hours' time, it's going to be carnage. The ETFs are going to buy everything, okay? So, yes, expect maybe, I think I've got 86,000 is my target in the corner. Expect 86,000, okay? But at some point, when you least expect it, there will be a correction to the downside. Maybe not a 30% correction to the downside, maybe 10, okay? What would that do? So let's say we get to 86,000 and we get a correction to the downside. That would take us to what? $78,000. Still above previous all-time high. Still a solid price. We're still only in November. Yeah, everybody will turn bearish. Oh, we broke down below 80,000. We're on our way down. We've only been above 80,000 for about 36 hours. Okay, we will wick up as fast as we wick down. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, but always expect the unexpected with Bitcoin, because they will look at the amount of longs sitting on Bitcoin now, and it is like a piece of cheese on a trap. Okay, you're going to go and take a bite out of that cheese because you think Bitcoin's going up. And the money makers, the market makers, they are the trap, and they are going to take all your money off you. Okay, so be careful longing and shorting. In a bull market, the price should go up over a long period of time. So if you did a 5x long and you kept a low leverage, then yes, you're probably going to be safe. But there's going to be a correction this week, next week, the week after. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen when we hit some target. Maybe we get rejected off 90,000, and then maybe we come back down towards 74, 75,000, maybe. But this is the Rex. $650 million, 365 longs, 285 in shorts. So again, they could wick us down and wick us up today. So today, the markets could open. We could go to 79,000. And then by close, we could be at 83,000. Okay? Doesn't have to happen over a very long period of time. Just be careful. Now, it is charts day. It's a Monday. We're going to go and look at the same charts we've been looking at for a few weeks because these are super important. We have a lot of names in chat. Who is here now? Chris, good morning. Eugene, good morning. Bullish Bull, Salo Sky, good morning. Cyberpunk Daddy, good morning. Care Inc., great weekend. It has been a great weekend, has it not? What a weekend we've had. Right then, this is the US Dixie, the strength of the dollar. We've been talking about this for probably since June, probably since about here. And we've been on a downward trajectory. We then bounced off this 100 level here, and we've come back up. And look where we are approaching. We are approaching. I'll move this along a bit. We are approaching somewhere that we have not managed to break for a year. We've even wicked up to it here, which was back in February last year. So nearly 2 years. So what do you think is going to happen? I think this. And if the DXY comes down, God help the price of Bitcoin. It is going to absolutely moon. Okay? We, by the way, are rallying in Bitcoin into a strengthening dollar. Okay? Now, what normally happens is Bitcoin rallies into a weakening dollar. And we haven't. We're looking good. So I think, let me just work out when that is. So I think we could probably get there at the beginning of December and then start to come down. Okay? If we do break up, then we are on a long way up. Okay? Probably somewhere, I mean, what's that? Where did we top out? 113. I mean, again, what's that? It's not even 10%, is it? 8% move. It's not a massive move, but it's the DXY. There's a lot of numbers involved in this. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think we could probably do something like this. It is quite cyclical. And then maybe we do that. Probably. We shall see. We shall see what effect Trump is going to have on the markets. It's very difficult to sit here and predict anything when you have the unpredictability of Mr. Trump in power. See, one of the reasons that a lot of people are scared, in Europe especially, is they don't like unpredictable people. But Trump's not a politician, just the way he is. So then, Where are we now? We are at 59.3%. Lots of people have said that we topped here, which is at 60.5%. I do not see anything so far to say that we have topped out on our Bitcoin dominance. Okay? People have been calling, let's go to the daily. People have been calling for Bitcoin dominance to break down pretty much since July, August, September, October, November. And yes, we did hit 60.5. We've come back down to 58.5. We're now back up at 59.3. There is no God-given right for us to hit 60% and break down, okay? You can thank Ben Cowan for that. My target was 58%, which is that yellow line there. That's where I thought we were going to get to. And the reason was, I thought we were going to follow this trajectory here, okay? And then it got supersized and moved up here, okay? So it had a bit of a pump back in July. Then it broke out here, end of October, topped out 7th of November. We've come down. So I still think we are looking at maybe this kind of move towards the end of the year, 61, 62%. I wouldn't write it off yet, okay? One swallow does not make a summer. And yes, we've seen Ethereum move, Solana move, everything else move. But we've seen a $12,000 wick on Bitcoin. I mean, it's not finished. It's not finished. Finally then, before we actually get into some news, this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. We have our line, do we not, that goes all the way back to the time when the elves arrived, which was December 2015. And look, we wicked off it and we have moved up, but we are not above the ETH BTC bull market support band. We are still beneath it. We can still come down, but does it matter? No, because the target was always 0.4 for me, 0.4. We came all the way down to 0.35. Doesn't matter. What does it mean? The likelihood is, and it's a likelihood, is that Ethereum from now on will follow this yellow line, okay? And it will outperform Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does a 10% move and goes to $90,000 from here, everybody will be singing in the streets, okay? Ethereum will do a 15% move, 20% move, whatever it might be, okay? And it will outperform Bitcoin from now on in. That's the premise of all of this, okay? Again, there's no rule to say this should happen, but we're only basing it what happened in the last cycle. So again, keep an eye on that. If you want to be bullish on Ethereum from now on in, I think you've pretty much got to where we thought it was going to get to, okay? And we have seen a huge move in Ethereum in the last, well, I don't even know when it started. It's moved so quickly. 24 hours, 48 hours. So let's move on. ETH BTC has bottomed here, in my opinion. I think so. I mean, I'm not of the Ben Cowan persuasion, which is a Bitcoin maxi. What Ben Cowan says is you hold Bitcoin for 3 years and then you sell now and you buy your alts and then the alts will outperform Bitcoin. That is his premise, and it's a solid premise. I'm not of that persuasion, and I've said this before. You guys can't watch crypto every day or 3 times a week, so you might miss the bottoming, okay? I think it's a far more appropriate strategy to say what's going to do well this bull run. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, Cardano, XRP, whatever. Buy them at their lows and then don't care about ETH Bitcoin. Don't care about anything other than having your bags packed for the year where everything goes up. Now, you are going to find coins will outperform your coins. It doesn't matter. If I said to you 18 months ago, if you buy those coins, $10,000 worth of those coins, you are likely to get somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000. Would you do that? Of course you would. Now, if we take Bitcoin at $20,000 and we bought then, you've already 4x'd your money because we're at 80,000 now. Now, if it goes to 160,000, you've 8x'd your money. Okay? So it's not about riding the fastest horses. If you went to the horse racing and you bet on 10 horses, how many of them are going to win? You've got maybe, what, a 1 in 10 chance? In crypto, it's not quite a horse race, but you win for wherever your horse finishes. So Cardano might go to $2. If you bought it at 25 cents, that's an 8x. Ethereum goes from $1,000 or $1,500, sorry, to $10,000. That's another solid 7x, okay? They're not all going to perform the same way. They don't all go up and down on a slide rule. So again, I'm not a fan of being Bitcoin heavy and then buying your alts. Get your bags packed, as we said in September, and then just ride it. And the hard part is that when these pumps happen, you fall into two camps. You want to sell and take some profit, or you want to keep buying. Why didn't you have that motivation to buy back in June last year when it was $15,000? Why weren't you putting every spare cent into Bitcoin at $15,000? Okay, because 2020 hindsight is a wonderful thing that nobody possesses. I sat here and defended crypto when we fell to $49,000 and people called it a scam. And it was manipulated, okay? It was part of the cycle. We didn't really fall outside of that range for 6 months. We wicked above it and we wicked below it. We stayed in that range. And now, in October, we broke out. When did I say that the miners would finish capitulating? The 20th of October. And we've broken out since. Now, I do not have a crystal ball. It's a cycle. Anybody telling you that we're going to top in December and we're all going to spend the next year going down is more than likely going to be wrong. The people telling you it's a super cycle, we're never going to go down again, they are more than likely going to be wrong. If we follow the 4-year cycle, it's November next year. Maybe it's October, maybe it's December, but that's the period of time that's worked for the last 3 cycles. Until it changes, it's part of the pattern of crypto. We can still buy at these prices and make a profit. But what I'm trying to say is it's now time to look at the alts, not Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin price tops 80,000 for the first time as Trump win boosts the crypto market. Happy days. Bitcoin is at an all-time high. It's happening over and over again. Again, we're going to get onto the Bitcoin chart now in a second. Price discovery is something that I'm very conservative on. It's very difficult to predict a price when we're at price discovery. The past few weeks, we broke 77, we broke 80. Everybody's happy. We look at the chart. Trump's in power. He's going to protect the industry. Another rumor that happened over the weekend is that Gary Gensler will be sacked. What happened over the weekend, let me go back a bit. JD Vance said that Gary Gensler was the worst performing member of the administration, and therefore he would probably be removed. There are rumors that Gary Gensler will resign in December. They are rumors. Okay, did that cause a slight pump in the price of crypto? Maybe it did. I think JD Vance saying what he said caused the pump and not the rumors about Gary Gensler. Whatever happens, Gary Gensler's gone in February. Okay? Now, before you all, have nasty things to say about him, he was the deciding vote in us getting the Bitcoin ETF. Always remember that. When he is gone, I will keep reminding you, he was the man who voted the deciding vote to pass the SEC motion to allow the Bitcoin ETF. So whatever he has done to XRP and exchanges, that single thing has changed the course of crypto history, right? So I suppose you could compare it to, Winston Churchill. He did many bad things, but he also did many good things. Gary Gensler has done many, many bad things, but he's done some good things as well. So again, we're not going to look at the chart. Let's go and look at the Bitcoin chart. Trump's in power. It's going to have a honeymoon period for crypto. If he goes ahead and buys 200,000 Bitcoin a year, that's 200,000 Bitcoin a year that currently will not be available. We're going to run out of Bitcoin. Nation states are going to panic. They're going to FOMO in. We're going to see ridiculous prices. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what those ridiculous prices are, because I have spent 6 months telling you that we're not going to hit those stupid prices. So we're just below 82,000. When I started the stream, we were on 81.4. What are the price targets that I think we will go to next? Well, again, we're in price discovery. Anything I say, you should take with a pinch of salt. But I'm going to go on my hard and fast rule. And that is that Psychologically, there are barriers to people. And there are going to be two major and one absolutely major prices, which I think we could find some resistance at, okay? 70,000 was just above the previous all-time high. We broke it, and then we fell below. And then we broke it, and we fell below, and we broke it, and we carried on. We didn't even give 80,000 the courtesy it deserved. We just smashed straight through it, okay? We smashed its back doors in. 90,000 seems to be on the cards. Maybe not today. Maybe we have a retracement. Remember, we don't want to move too far away from this bull market support band. We don't want to go up too quickly because we can come up down as fast as we go up. But 90,000 is the next kind of psychological barrier. And then the big one, 100,000. When are we going to hit 100,000? Okay, that's the question. Are we going to hit it in May, June next year? Are we going to hit it at the top? Is that going to be our cycle top? I'm starting to think no. I'm starting to think it'll be a lot higher. So when do we hit 100,000? My target for the end of the year was 80,000. The Oracle's was 84,000. Now, we've got 50 days left. 50 days is enough time for a correction and a move back up. So do we top out at 84, 86,000, retrace to 78, and then move back up to 90 or 88 by the end of the year? That's a possibility. We've got 50 days. We're not going to go up. I mean, if anybody watching this thinks for 1 second that we are going to do this, that doesn't happen, okay? It does when you do this, okay? Yes, you can. You can go up in a straight line. We could be at 100,000 by the end of the year. It can happen. But there's always black swans. There's always macro events. Maybe the Fed cuts again in December, maybe. But we don't want to get overheated because the more we get overheated, the bigger the correction. So I think conservatively, just hold 80 to 85,000. Just hold it. Go into a little bit of a sideways pattern. Do this. Actually, I'm on the weekly. Let's do it on the daily. Because price discovery is price discovery. You discover the price we're going to go to. I can't sit here and give you a target. I can say 90 and 100,000 are going to be the targets because based simply on the psychological effect of hitting 90 and 100. Why do you think shops sell things for $19.99, $29.99, $199.99, or shops sell at $197? Because 7 is seen as a lucky number in some countries, and 99 reduces it by a penny and takes that extra digit off. So I think 90 and 100,000 are going to be hard to break. I could be absolutely wrong. Okay, we could very well do that. Okay, yes, of course we can. I don't know, but I do think we're going to find some resistance. Broke 82,000. It's not going to happen how I want it to happen. It's not going to happen how you want it to happen. But I do think there's going to be a correction along the way. In the history of Bitcoin, we have gone up and come down. We have gone up and come down. We are going up, yes, but we will come down. And it doesn't mean we're going to come straight back down. This, remember, bull market support band, it will curve like this, okay? So it will do that. Very similar how it did it over here. Now, again, I could draw any combination of lines on this, okay? Maybe we do this, and then maybe we retrace it at 90,000, and then maybe we do this again, okay? I don't know, but be careful of thinking that we're just going to go up in a straight line. We're not. Don't FOMO in, okay? Now's not a good time to FOMO in. I would say the same thing about Bitcoin as I would say when we looked at the SUI chart. SUI retraced from $2, came down to 170, and now it's back at $3 because everything is pumped. So there will be corrections. Now this, for me, is the news of the weekend. Charles has, and again, I don't want to overhype this. You know what I'm like? I'm like Jack D. If you don't know who Jack D is as a comedian, go and look him up, okay? Charles shares new plans to help foster the US crypto policy. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson stated that when it comes to crypto policies in the United States, we have to do this and we have to get it done. Now, for those of you that don't know this, Charles is going to work with the administrators in America. Charles is going to work directly with the Trump administration. Why? Because, a long story short, Trump came into power in 2016 and appointed the wrong people into his administration. He appointed oil and energy and money people who had their industry's best interests at heart, not the interests of the people. He's doing it differently this time. He's appointing as many neutral people as possible to his cabinet. Whether you like him or not, this is what he's doing. Charles and a few others are going to work on the policies of crypto in America. Why? Because it was going to be BlackRock. BlackRock were going to be the policymakers in America. Now, why was that such a bad thing? Because you can't put crypto in the hands of a profit-making business and not expect that business to make money. They're going to go after it. Now, Charles has created a decentralized blockchain. He has recused himself from Cardano. What does that mean? Recuse is a word where he has taken himself out of any decision-making process in Cardano. They're now operated by a DAO. We covered it last week when they were going to sell 500 million ADA. So he's recused himself from Cardano. His best interests are crypto. So in the video that the live stream that he put up, he was talking about working with Solana. He was talking about working with XRP. He is talking about Bitcoin OS and connecting Cardano as a layer 2 for Bitcoin, okay? All of these things are a slight diversion from what he was talking about in the past. He was always going toe-to-toe with the likes of Anatoly. He was always going toe-to-toe with Brad Garlinghouse. Now he's in this position. He has to bring crypto together. So expect to see other people brought up. Now, why did Cardano pump? Because they're talking about overhauling some of the American institutions. Voting, for example, is something that they are going to look at. And now they've got 4 years to look at it. It can be done. What has Charles been doing in Africa for the last 2 or 3 years? He's been working on helping the infrastructure within certain countries within Africa to do with healthcare, education, politics. He's also been talking to Interpol about using Cardano as the backbone for their investigations, okay? So he's been spending time working with the policy decisions. We have to do this. There's a very high probability Republicans will not only control the Senate and the presidency, but Congress and the House. It's the best opportunity for crypto to gain clarity. Trump stood up. That's the live stream that I watched. Trump stood up and basically said he was talking to a very clever person the other night. He's in the audience. That probably was Charles. And again, if I was a betting man, I would expect every single case by the SEC to be dropped in February. It's now becoming more and more apparent that that's going to be the case. Okay, there may be some smaller cases against people who have committed what the SEC think are wrongdoings. They will still stay open. But believe you me, the court cases against exchanges, the court cases against XRP, the Wells notice with Ethereum, they're all going in the bin. What does that mean for XRP? It means it's going to absolutely blow through $1, maybe $1.50, maybe $2. It's going to go on a mad run. It's not going to go to $80 or $50. It might go to $4 or $5 in the bull run. But the point of the matter is, it will be a clean slate for XRP. And I would imagine that Brad Garlinghouse is going to have a seat at this roundtable, with probably Charles being the chairman of it. None of us signed up to have companies like BlackRock dictate to the US states what crypto policy should be. He has mentioned personal friendships with lawmakers. They have yet to decide upon the fact they're not even in office yet. So this is the bullish news about Cardano. Okay, now you cannot separate Charles from Cardano. You can't. And much as I've already talked about him being recused, he is. But if he's going to put forward a blockchain to carry out any government functions, he is going to argue the case, quite rightly, that Cardano is as decentralized as it can be. Okay, you can't really use Bitcoin, let's be honest. Okay, could you use Ethereum? Maybe. Ethereum is proof of stake. It could be seen as a possible conflict of interest, I suppose, because it's operated by a DAO. Now, again, and I can't sit here and say I told you so, because I didn't know that Charles was going to work with the Trump administration as much as the next man didn't. But what I did say last week is, when money comes out of Bitcoin, it will go into projects which are considered healthy projects. This candle has completely destroyed everything down here. We're now back at 60 cents, okay? It's not too late to buy Cardano at 60 cents, okay? I've got plenty of price targets above. We've got to get back above 80 cents, okay? Now, as somebody quite rightly pointed out, between about 40 cents and 70 cents, there really isn't a lot of resistance. So it will go probably up towards this 70, what's this level here? 72 cents is the next target for Cardano. Again, we've got to go back to the previous bull run to find prices. I'm not going to do that because that's not what we're interested in. I do expect Cardano to go somewhere towards 70 to 80 cents in the next few days if Bitcoin carries on. And again, it's bullish for Cardano. And what happens when something is bullish is it draws attention, and people will now go and take a look at the Cardano ecosystem. The DeFi platforms, which aren't great, the meme coins, which don't have large market caps, but they'll look at Cardano itself and think, if Cardano is going to partner with Bitcoin and XRP and Solana, and Charles is going to work on getting Cardano into the American government, what is there not to be anything but bullish about on Cardano? Maybe it doesn't come to fruition. Maybe it collapses and comes back down to 30, 40 cents. No one can see the future, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, okay? I think the Bitcoin OS news on its own was enough to move the price of Cardano. This extra news is absolutely fantastic. Moving very swiftly on, we are at 11:47. Let me just check. Bitcoin is well over 82,000. Happy days for Bitcoin. Snowden criticizes VC control on Solana, pushes for decentralization. Ask yourself a question. Why is Edward Snowden so interested in Solana? Why? What's his interest in Solana? He's talked about Bitcoin being the number one blockchain. He's talked about it being uncensorable. He's talked about it being the one true cryptocurrency. So why does he care about Solana? Why doesn't he go after Doge? Why doesn't he go after AVAX or SUI? Why is he talking about Solana? Think about that. Edward Snowden recently shared the importance of decentralization. He criticized AI-driven surveillance and venture capitalist control over blockchain. He also discussed cryptocurrencies and blockchain tech and AI. He especially mentioned Solana as his example of being born in prison. The reason for this is big funds by the VCs. According to him, such kind of financial backing can prevent blockchain networks from running independently. Okay, not every blockchain is created equally. Okay, let's just put that out there. Cardano is very decentralized. The Bitcoin is very decentralized. It's a scale. It's not black and white. It's a scale of grey. Everybody knows that Solana is backed by VCs. Everybody knows that. Everybody wants to point the finger at Solana and say it has massive inflation. Everybody wants to point at Solana and say it goes down all the time. Okay, fine. If you're not interested, go elsewhere. Okay, there are plenty of other blockchains out there for you to get involved in. Now, there is the green-eyed monster, which I think a lot of Cardano holders have had. They've seen Solana go from success to success. They've seen the mobile phone. They've seen the meme culture. They've seen everything else. And they've just decided to bash Solana rather than focusing on Cardano. Perfect example on Saturday night. I'd watched the speech about Charles. Charles said we need to focus on peace and we need to shine lights. Okay, we need to be a shining beacon of light. A positive stream that he had. And you had Cardano holders sitting there, rather than focusing on the positive, they went, Solana's going down. Solana's gone down. And it was FUD, okay? Why? Focus on your own blockchain. The green-eyed monster will eat you up. Okay, if you don't like Solana, go elsewhere. Okay, if you want to make money in crypto, which 99.9% of you want to do, you back the projects that are popular. I don't care if this is centralized behind VCs. I don't care who the owners of McDonald's are. I don't care who the owners of Coca-Cola are. I want their product. Well, I don't actually, but I'm giving you examples. I want to eat McDonald's and I want to drink Coca-Cola. I don't care about anything else, right? I do care, of course, that maybe there's sweatshops and things like that. Of course I care. I have a moral conscience. But I don't care about the beneficial owners. I don't care that BlackRock are making 5 cents every time I buy a can of Coke, right? So why does Edward Snowden keep bringing up Solana? It's okay he mentions them as an example. This isn't the first time. This is about the third or fourth time he's gone after Solana. Stay in your lane. If you like Bitcoin, talk positively about Bitcoin, okay? If you don't like Solana, keep your mouth shut. It's not important to anybody else, okay? Everybody should know that Solana was built on VC money. But are you telling me Solana hasn't been a net positive to crypto? The mobile phones, the meme coins, Franklin Templeton bringing finance to people on Solana. You can go and invest with $5 on Solana and pay tiny fees. So go away. Go and look at something else. If you want to criticize them, do it. Nobody cares. Okay, now we're not going to keep looking at charts. We're going to run out of time. I am going to go and show you meme coins. Okay, and this isn't an article. This is a list of meme coins I think you should be looking at. Remember, if you're new here, smash the like button, say hello. Well said, Eugene. He does. But don't forget, he's also built a team. There's 6 of them, isn't there? And maybe more if he brings in a few of his friends. Tucker Carlson is being talked about as well. He's picked his chief of staff, which is the first woman in history to be the chief of staff, and nobody's put that in the press. He has, I can't say a lot of these things, but anyway, he has a very diverse team behind him. So if it does happen, I think JD Vance would carry on. There are 5 or 6 members of his team, and 5 of them hold Bitcoin. I think that's all we need to know. And if he brings in the likes of Charles, and he brings in other people which are true to the industry people, which he made the mistake last time, then I think it's going to be fine. So even if something does unfortunately happen to him, I think we are still on a good course. He's just got to make it to February. That's it. Right then, so memes are absolutely ripping. You are going to want to go and buy everything because everything on my screen is green. You're going to go and think you're going to make an absolute fortune out of everything. So I'm just going to be Warren Buffett and buy everything. Okay. Now that is good. That is a good strategy. I do not blame you for that, but it wouldn't be my strategy. You have to ask yourself, and this is going back to the market cap thing I mentioned at the start. Somebody told me on Twitter not to worry about market cap because it doesn't matter in a bull run. And I wasn't going to get into a tit for tat with them because I don't know who they are and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to waste my energy on it. Dogecoin is 28 cents. It has a $42 billion market cap. Is that going to go to a $420 billion market cap and go to $2.88? So if you put $100 into Dogecoin, are you going to make $1,000? No. It's not going to go to 420 billion, even with an ETF. Right. What are the chances, then, of Mu going to 10 billion? It's currently just under 1 billion. That would put it third on the list. So it wouldn't even put it top. It put it third on the list. What's the chances of Cat in a Dog's World going to 10 billion? I would say 70 to 80% chance of that happening. I would say there is less than 1% chance of Dogecoin going to 420. There is less than 1% chance of Shiba going to 152 billion. I think there's maybe 20% chance of Pepe going to 52 billion, depending on how well we go. Dog with Hat, again, maybe a 30% chance of going to 30 billion. So as you go down the market caps, you have to realize it requires less money to move your profits up. So as I said, if you put $100 into Mu today, you've maybe got a 70% chance of turning it into $1,000. Not saying it's going to happen though. If you put $100 into Dogecoin, I think you might get $300 to $500 out. So you're halving your profit because you're not using the market cap as a barometer of where coins can move to in a bull run. Now, there is an argument to say that Shiba could overtake Doge in this bull run. So how would that happen? Maybe Doge goes to 84, 85 billion. Maybe it goes to 100 billion. Shiba could maybe go to 110, but I think it's still unlikely. So what you've then got to do is say, well, if you're saying that a $1 billion coin can go to a $10 billion coin, I think that's more likely. I'm not saying it's absolutely hard and fast nailed. Then you've got to say to yourself, well, why don't I just go and buy Phil token? If Phil token's going to go to $10 billion, I will make 300x my money, because it doesn't work like that either. There is nothing to catch Phil in the retail market. Okay, so you have to look at coins which are on the exchanges that you're on. And I can't say names, but the ones that you get on an app if you are retail. So look at, for example, Robinhood. Look at, for example, Revolut. Okay, apps which have crypto on them. These coins aren't listed, but these coins are. Some of these coins up here. So the likes of Turbo, the likes of maybe Ponke, Bohm, Cat in a Dog's World. These are listed on those exchanges. So if you're sitting at a dam with your bowl waiting for the money to come through, and you're holding Flocky Nucky coin, which has got a $10 million market cap and isn't listed anywhere, your bowl's going to be empty at the end of the bull run. If you are holding some of these coins like Brett, Popcat, Cat in a Dog's World, Mog, Turbo, Ponke, even Peanut, I suppose, maybe Dog, maybe those coins, you're going to be sitting at a dam that's full of water, okay? Because they're on all the exchanges and people like, oh, it's a pretty cat, I'm going to buy the cat. Oh, it's a pretty dog, I'll buy the dog, okay? Mu is a cat. In Asia, they're liked more than dogs. So which meme coins are going to do well this bull run? In my opinion, cats. Americans prefer dogs. Dogs will do well because of America. Simple. Simple psychology. The likes of Brett exist without much competition. So they will, of course, do well. So when you look at meme coins, they're not all created equally. But you've got to say to yourself, I want to pick 5 coins that will 10x. You are best not looking, in my opinion, at anything above Popcat, maybe Flocky. Anything up here, like Bonk upwards, I personally don't believe will go higher than a 10x. Certainly not Doge, certainly not Shiba. But then I come down to here, and I would say, could we see a 6.5 billion Bohm? Could we see a 3.6 billion Dogs? Yes. So my opinion would be pick 5 or 6 that are between 300 million and a billion and go with them. I've said this a few times, but for those of you that aren't watching or haven't seen this before, that's my strategy, because you can't just pick the top. When will do well because of Jupiter. Jupiter is going to do, I might make a video about it. There's a lot going on in Jupiter, and Jupiter is going to be doing another airdrop in January, but they're going to lock it away. And if you claim it and don't lock it away, you lose 75% of your claim. So as part of that, I think they're going to drop some Wen coin. And Wen is associated with Jupiter. I think Wen's story is, it's like an NFT that's been fractionalized into billions of pieces. And each one of them represents Wen. And Wen is a poem by Meow. And Meow is the CEO of Jupiter. So they have a connection. So Mew, I mean, I got my Mew allocation when it dropped. I have never sold Wen, because I do think you're right, it is going to pump. But it falls out of my category, 300 to a billion. And it's surrounded by other coins which may not do so well. So I've got to kind of have a line at the bottom and a line at the top. Now, it's 12 o'clock. We've got 2 articles left. I'm not going to bother with hamster. We'll bin the hamster one off very quickly then, because I am going to run out of time. So this is, okay, we asked AI to build a crypto portfolio for the alt season bull run. Now, again, I've not read this article. Sometimes I don't read them because I want to go through them with you on the show. I've not read this article. This is what AI would pick for the alt season bull market. So not the perfect portfolio by any means, but an alt portfolio. That's what I'm reading into this. Now, we can go through all the blurb. It's asked its Perplexity Online model. It's got ChatGPT. It's given the breakdown here. So it's broken it down into different categories. Layer one, 50% allocation. So half the money. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano. Absolutely 100% agree with that. That's not far off my allocation if I was to take Bitcoin out of the equation. Ethereum, I don't know how many Ethereum I've got, but I've got quite a few Ethereum, I've got quite a lot of Solana, and I've got quite a lot of Cardano. But I think that's not far off. So 50% Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, I quite like that. Next, we've got 25% into DeFi tokens. Again, I've been telling you about these for a while because when the market rips, DeFi, DEXs, and aggregators, they make money, okay? They don't need a narrative. They basically print money because of all the transactions. Now, in here, we've got Uniswap, absolutely. Aave, absolutely. Now, where I will disagree with this is I would have gone further than Uniswap and Aave. I would have included the likes of Jupiter. I would have had Radium. I would have had maybe Aero. I would certainly look at DYDX. I would look at what other DEXs would I look at for that run? I suppose, you see, the problem with Radium, Orca, and Jupiter is they're all locked into Solana. So you'd have to look at maybe picking another DEX. Maybe Sui would be a good place to look for one because that's going to do quite well. So I disagree with that. Infrastructure and scalability solutions. Polkadot, no. Multiverse X, no. I wouldn't pick either of those. Certainly not Polkadot and certainly not Multiverse X. Again, I wouldn't go for this. I would look at real-world asset tokens. I would look at AI tokens. Does it mention AI tokens? No. Okay, so I would look at AI and real-world assets. That's where I would differ with that. I certainly wouldn't pick Polkadot and not Multiverse X. Then we have emerging sectors and tech, 10% in this. This would be Chainlink and the graph. Can't disagree with that. It's picking a very small portfolio. It's going to have a portfolio of about 10 assets, which I suppose isn't too bad. I thought it would have given us more. But again, Chainlink and the graph, yes, solid. Do I agree with that portfolio? You know what? If you followed that portfolio, I think it would do well. Absolutely. So to recap, then, before we go, this article, based on an AI chatbot, would pick Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano. It would pick Uniswap and Aave. It would pick Polkadot and Multiverse. And then it would pick Chainlink and the graph. So 2, 4, 6, 9. Not bad. Not bad. I'd rate that portfolio about an 8 or a 9 out of 10. The only ones I disagree with are Multiverse X and Polkadot. You've got no AI in there. You've got no real-world assets in there. You've got no like 2 or 3% allocation to meme coins in there, which I know a lot of you would want. But again, it's solid. If you were starting from scratch now with $1,000, this would not be a bad portfolio. Anyway, one last thing to talk about before we go, and that is the Oracle himself is back tonight, I believe, at 9 p.m. The Oracle is back at 9. He will be going over the charts. He will be telling you that we're going to the moon. He will be selling you real estate on the moon. And he will be giving you, hopefully, some price predictions for the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then the alts. Now, remember one thing I always forget to tell you about. If you're in any of our groups, like Telegram, I'm not going to give you the address because we're not allowed to, but if you are, ask him for the coins now. Don't ask him at 9:45 when there's 15 minutes left of the stream, because all you're going to get is him drawing the chart. If you give him the chart, if you give him the projects now, he'll draw the chart before the stream and give you more information. So if you want to know about dupe or when or Cardano or Doge, ask him in Telegram now and give him some hours to collate the list of coins. And if you don't, and it gets to 9:55 or 10:05, you're likely to not see it until Thursday. But anyway, enough of that. We are done. Thank you, everybody, for coming. You are all legends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I am back at 11 o'clock tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, we want to get to 200,000 by the end of the year, and then I'll stop talking about it. Help us get there. Give us a subscription. Give us a follow, whatever you've got in front of you. Thank you, Chris, Eugene, KB, Cyberpunk Danny, Bullish Bull. Everybody, thank you all for coming. See you all in the morning. Take care.